The Origins of Life, Waves of Enlightenment, Part 10. Sorry about the abrupt ending on the last one. It offered to install an update and just stopped the video and stuff like that. That's happened before, actually. But, so yeah, carrying on. The cupping of the ears, catching the sound, all that kind of thing. The sensitivity to it and all these kind of things and stuff like. So another good thing for this, you see that line down there. We see it on cheetahs, don't we? So it kind of emphasizes the wall. Like we know, we get like a black stripe going over the back of bird's eye, and being wall or fish or whatever else. And here we're seeing it. It like comes down there, and that's like the wall, the darkness of it, and there's a froth over the top, and there's another wall at the other side, but that's a reflection anyway. So, but it's showing you how it's turning, So it's like the wall's that way for its eye, and then it's that way for where its nose is. So it goes round there, and often, like on a cheetah, you'll see it continue to come back down and round here, kind of thing, which kind of forms part of its cheek in a way. And also the sensitivity of like its whiskers and all these kind of things, for sensing, sensing stuff and all that. Like rats and mice and or rodents and anything else that's got whiskers and stuff, like cats and all that kind of stuff, like and the noses, for picking up the smells and all these kind of things. You compare a lot of things, like eagles' vision and birds of prey and stuff like that kind of thing. How good the eyesight is, It's kind of like it all comes from the ocean, so all of that information that all these animals have, all the nutrients and different chemicals that you can get from plants, for medicine and stuff like. Naturally, not for pharmaceutical industries. They corrupt it rather than work in harmony with it and stuff like. So yeah, all of it is so much. You just look at one aspect of it and stuff like. You can pick up like loads of things. It's all the lines that it forms on wave when it pulls. And it uses like sound for like finding its prey, rather than like its vision and stuff. So how like the ocean, it's got like maybe it can't see well in the dark, but it can hear well. It can hear as well as an eagle can see. If you could maybe in that kind of sense. Again, all the ripples of the water. So it becomes like the cat's eye kind of part of a wave. So when all the light goes in there, and that's why you get the eyes, which are more reptilian or in that kind of sense and stuff, opposed to round. So again, mice with ears and stuff. You're following the perspective lines. And that's what we've got with them lines and stuff. For being in the environment. Curling how it folds over. So even our human ears, it has that little fold. So you can relate it all. That's another aspect. So we pointed out on that, I think a coyote or a fox, how it has like the cheetah dark line down there, and you can see like the wall for the wave and stuff. Now here, because like we can see, it can go down that way, but we've also got a line which connects to ear. So like this, cats tend to have like a bald area, or balding kind of, or half bald, which is, the hair's thin between its ear and eye, and that kind of lines up with that wave as well. So like its ear to its nose, or its ear, eye, and nose are kind of like connected in that way. I mean, they are connected because of how we use them together. You hear something and you can see it and smell, touch, etc. It's all incorporated into one system. So another example of it there. It's like your ear tube, it goes into your nostril and your mouth and all that kind of stuff, like, and your eyes are connected between it all and stuff. Like if you get a blocked nose, it can make your eyes water, all that kind of thing. Again, the fold at wave and stuff. Alright, so I think we're done with ears. I've got a shot. This guy found an egg, but it looks like seaweed. It looks like a pocket of seaweed, and there's a shark inside it. But like in a previous video in the first series, I was speaking about how fish may have formed in terms of like plant life producing life, right? So like you imagine seaweed with all the air sac pockets, right? And it's just like what that came out of, right? To be like its original way it was formed. So like when it was first, the first of the sharks or fish or whatever else, any living thing, were, especially for sea life, would be on like this seaweed plant, especially for sharks. It depends what kind of seaweed or sea plant it is and stuff like. It produces all these air sacs, and then all the sharks. Imagine like plants produce thousands of seeds. So like each one's gonna have like thousands of sharks every time it reproduces and stuff like. So look how seaweedy it looks. So another thing I wanted to add to this in that kind of way is we're talking about ice and the firmament and all the other stuff which we've kind of discussed about, like the outer part of his macro and all that kind of thing. This is one of the things that I've kind of do consider, that we could be in like a giant one of these in a sense. It's almost like it could be covered in ice, so we can't really tell. But if we are kind of part of a plant structure, which humans are, you know what I mean? It's like, is the micro that as well, or is it more like energy and thought form, which is kind of created this reality or whatever and stuff like? I mean, it could be still that anyway, above all else and all these kind of things like. But when we're thinking about the structure of a realm and what it is and all that kind of stuff, is this what it is? Is this another example of the micro and the macro? And it's kind of like, look, it's a pocket and it's got life in it. And so it's interesting to consider. I mean? It's like, imagine if it were covered in ice and then the ice is kind of blue in that kind of sense because it's so old and all these kind of things. It's like, it wouldn't have been covered in ice to begin with, maybe. It's like just it would have grown. It would have been almost nothing, you know what I mean? It would have been part of something else which grew it, and then it becomes something and it's grown and stuff like. And also because it's like a seaweed air pocket thing, they tend to have water in them as well. We being a seaweed thing, and all the stuff about us being in the waters above and the waters below, and all that kind of stuff. Like, it makes sense that we'd be in a seaweed pod like that in the macro sense of things. it's suggestible, It's gonna like, it's difficult because I can't go up to it and say, look, here's a piece of it, and but I can throw the idea out there and stuff. Um, and if it's not like part of a macro aspect of things and stuff like that, at least it does show, more of a evidence that we did come from plant life, and at least fish doing this anyway. Um, well, I think it stands up for all life in that kind of sense and stuff like. If they can do it, then that means that they come from plant life, and everything else has got that potentiality as well. I'm really not buying the evolution thing. There's too many gaps and not enough answers. um, so I'll go into his, what's it called, his little sketching thing a second. This was my first drawing of it. So you can see where the sun's setting, or rising, sorry. So you got rise, climbing, and then it's high, and then it's set. So it's climbing, it's still in distance, but it's left the water in, perspectively. And then it's up here and stuff like. So you've got the repetition in reflection, so you can see the water in that kind of sense. So you got morning, day, to afternoon to night, which then goes into setting, which that's the third eye, So that's why you've got that, and that's why your third eye is so important, and with a connection of the psychic consciousness, for why the water's related to that psychic consciousness. It's like when you go to sleep, you can return to the ocean to a degree. So if you look at it on Mercator map or whichever, you got the Capricorn and Cancer, so that's relation to that. So we were speaking about eyes being closer or further apart in that kind of sense. So if they're closer together, is it more close to summer or winter in that kind of sense and stuff like? So there is a bit of relationship between it and stuff like. I don't know whether would you have to be born in the winter for it to happen? You know what I mean? It's kind of we can figure that out. If there's a pattern, you know what I mean? If everybody who gets born in winter has their eyes further apart, in that kind of sense. All that kind of stuff So on this side we're some waves. So you got we'll do this one. You got this wave turning over, so that's a shadow at wave. I didn't draw it to show everybody. It was just more of an example of figuring things out and just having a look. And so you got that one for your eyes. So you get your reflective area and all that kind of thing. So behind there, you've got your shoulders, your hips, all that kind of stuff and then you get your bodies of water which are following up. So back onto eyes, and then your nose, it's kind of turned over, become frothy and all that kind of stuff. And then it's your mouth as well. So water comes out, comes back in, and so then a tongue, a snake's tongue's always got its tongue out, and it's in that kind of way and stuff. But it's just an exact, because you got your face, we've discussed that quite a lot, but then the rest of the body is also included in it. You know what I mean? It's all one in it, so it all moves and then goes back, and as the tide moves and such. But it's in freeze though. Your face is in freeze, and your body's in freeze, and so on. You know what I mean? The entire thing is in freeze. So if we do it again. Some of them, it had a sweeping angle. And you get your third eye, so you get your perspective lines that come with that. And you've got one from there as well. I think it comes that way. So then you compare it to all these bugs, alright, and that pattern that you get with sun. So it comes like here. So it's almost like that could come out as a heart as it follows out and stuff like that. But you've got other lines, and I'll try and find it. Yeah. So like these patterns, when we fill all this out, you kind of like draw them all out, and then like you kind of put it onto the tree of life pattern, and then you compare it to the insects. You tend to get like a full comprehensive kind of image in a way. So like here, like, oh, hang on. See that? How they come out like that. And you get it on tail end. It depends on which insect and stuff like. But you quite often get like 3 lines coming off the back. So 2 curling out and 1 in centre. And it seems to follow this pattern. You can see 2 lines there in a way. You see them too. It all adds up in a way. There's a few different ones, but it is relevant. It's just difficult to find how to do it properly now. So turn it upside down. It does the same pattern underneath as well. So it'll have the repeated. So you got 1, 2, 3. You know, straight line as well. And then if you like, I'll say if you had the flower of a tree of life, and then you can connect the insect legs to it and everything else and stuff like that. It extrapolates to whatever it is, because like that pattern, it'll fit on a human, or like a human's face, a human's back. It'll also kind of reconnect to like everything else which is with all the different animals and stuff like. It's like a re-extrapolation of everything. For example, it almost looks like a repetition of its head and ears being there. Or it seems to repeat again, and you could see that there its eyes, so that'd be, I don't know, that'd be like part of its body as well, I mean, it looks like top of its head there with those lines and stuff kind of thing. Yeah, I think like, if somebody sees it, then it looks like, a really big tiger, if that was just its head of the entirety of it and stuff like that. So if they were its ears and they were its eyes in that kind of way. So I like the information, it repeats in different ways and stuff like I say, you can look at your back and compare your face to it. You look at a shield bug's back and compare it to like a bird's back, and how they kind of, how the crisscross of the patterns work on back and stuff like. Hold on. Yeah, the crisscross patterns. I've not got a shield bug in this file, but it's the same situation. You can see the shape of the shield bug there, you know, with its arch of a wave. And it's got its those waves at the side, the black and white stripes. So it's basically just another form of a shield bug. It's less actually thought. And so when we map the face out, we've got them two lines coming up. And so it makes sense in that way. It's more to do with the higher aspects of the plane and stuff like, you know, the frequency bend. I don't know how, you know, how all that is kind of thing. So again, like showing it like that. So you can see the shield bug there. You got that part wave. You got this V shape and stuff. You know, all the patterns start to match up. It's like, you know, we're really not that different. It's like your shoulders, your back. That's that shape there. Them two lines. I'll go in this way. Look, you got them lines. So they're like eyes on some insects when they show the patterns and stuff like. When you got your triangle shapes. In your perspective. So that's the horizon. Look at that way. You can see the sun's reflection on water. So all this is perspective lines. And we'll look at it that way. And we can see how big the ears could potentially be. And that's its eyes. That'd be its nose, mouth. So it's everything about all that light information, and then it's incorporated with this. And we spoke about it before, haven't we? But it's important not to forget that. It's kind of like, you can see where the roll for the eye, roll for the nose, and how the water carries on, and then it's become part of the mouth. And then you can see all the roll this way and stuff like, you know, how teeth-like they look. It's like, you know, it's a photograph of the ocean, but it's such an expressional one, you know, for it to have illustrated itself in that kind of way. And for all of it, you know, to have like the sunlight there on different wave, all that kind of stuff like. So, you know, for the eye, all that kind of thing. Even though its eyes are here, but I see, like the light is a spirit, but like the ocean is not. This is physical, isn't it? You know what I mean, and stuff like so. It's that combination of both of that to, like, you know, to form what we are and stuff. So I think that's it for now for the majority of the series. Like I said, I've got the bonus videos and stuff like that kind of thing. It's just like all the extra little bits. So I don't know how long it's going to take, whether it's one video or two or whatever and stuff. This was supposed to be one. These past two. It's taking a bit longer as well. So I thank you for watching, and I'll get on with the next ones. Cheers. Bye.